Anxiety, fear, pressure. These aren't just random feelings that just show up to ruin your day. They're built into us. Every single person on the planet knows what they feel like, whether you're a fighter walking out to a cage fight, or a student about to take a final exam, or somebody stepping into a big meeting that could change their life. That racing heart, the sweaty hands, the shallow breathing, that little voice in your head that says, what if I mess up? What if I fail? Most people think those feelings are weakness, but they're not. They're biology and they're built in there for your survival. When I first started fighting, I thought being nervous meant I wasn't ready. I thought the best fighters walked out calm and fearless, but that's a myth. I've trained with pros, I've fought on cards with killers, and let me tell you, every single one of them feels it. The difference isn't whether you get anxious, it's whether you know what to do with it. And that's what I want to break down for you today. Not just from my perspective as a fighter, but also from what science actually tells us about anxiety, fear, and mental readiness. Because if you can understand it, if you can learn to work with it instead of fighting against it, you'll not only perform way better in competition, you'll handle life better as well. So let's get started with what anxiety really is. See, inside your brain, you've got a part called the amygdala. Think of it like your body's alarm system. Its job is to scan for threats and to react. If it senses danger, real or imagined, it fires off signals to the rest of your body. Your heart rate goes up, muscles tighten, palms get sweaty, vision sharpens. That's the fight or flight response. See, that was first described by Walter Cannon back in the 1930s. Back then, it made sense. Our ancestors needed it to survive lions in the bushes or enemies in the wild. But here's the catch: your body doesn't know the difference between a lion trying to eat you and the crowd staring at you while you perform. See, it's the same system, different situations. And that's why you get nervous before a fight or before a big moment in life. It's not weakness, it's survival mode turning on. Now, here's where people usually go wrong. They think the goal is to get rid of anxiety. They think nerves mean they're not prepared or not cut out for it. But the science says otherwise. Anxiety itself is neutral. It's just energy. It's your body mobilizing resources to deal with a challenge. Fear is fuel. When adrenaline and cortisol hit your system, they sharpen your reflexes, increase oxygen to your muscles, and make you more alert. Neuroscientist what's his last name? McEwen, I think it was, wrote about this in 2007. These stress hormones are part of why athletes sometimes perform better under pressure. The key isn't eliminating them, it's learning how to use them. That brings me back to a study by Alison Brooks in 2014. She tested athletes, singers, and even students about to take exams. Some were told to calm down, others were told to say, I'm excited. Same nerves, same body reactions, but a different mental story. And guess what? The ones who reframed their nerves as excitement performed way better. That's called cognitive reappraisal. You don't change the biology, you change the interpretation. See, I started doing that before fights. Instead of saying, man, I'm nervous, I'd say, this is energy. This means I'm ready. And instantly, the nerve stopped being a problem and started being a weapon. But let's be real, that's easier said than done. Most of us don't just feel nerves, we fight them. We tell ourselves, don't be nervous, don't think about it, stay calm. But the more you push it down, the stronger it comes. So, psychologist Daniel Wagner proved this in the 1990s. He called it ironic process theory. The more you try not to think about something, the more your brain obsesses over it. So tell yourself, don't think about a white bear. And all you can picture is a white bear. Same with anxiety. The harder you resist, the bigger it gets. That's why suppression backfires. The better approach is acceptance. That's the foundation of acceptance and commitment therapy, developed by Stephen Hayes. The idea is simple. Thoughts and feelings aren't the enemy. The problem is how we relate to them. Instead of saying, I shouldn't feel this way, You say, I feel this way, and that's okay. You stop wasting energy fighting the nerves, and you free up energy to perform. Gardner and Moore ran studies with athletes in 2007 and found those who used acceptance-based strategies didn't just lower anxiety, they improved performance. That means the ones who admitted, yeah, I feel nervous and I can still perform, actually did better. See, than the ones trying to crush their nerves. And I mean, for me, that was a game changer. I stopped trying to kill the nerves before fights. I started acknowledging them. I'd feel my heart pounding, my stomach flipping, my hands shaking, and I'd say, good, this means my body's ready. This means like I'm alive. This means I'm locked in. The anxiety didn't disappear, of course, but it stopped running the show. It became part of the process instead of a roadblock. If you've ever watched a fight, you know the walkout is one of the most intense moments in sports. You're in the tunnel, music blasting, crowd screaming, lights hitting your face, your opponent's already in the cage waiting. Every instinct says run. That's when mental readiness really shows itself. Some fighters break under that pressure, others flip the switch. Science explains why. James Gross showed in 2002 that reappraisal, changing how you label stress, is one of the most effective ways to regulate emotion. The fighters who see the walkout as a threat get drained. The fighters who see it as a challenge get sharper. Same adrenaline, different meaning. That's what I had to prepare for. It's not about stopping the feeling itself. It's about shifting the story you tell yourself. But even if you master all that, there's one fear that lingers underneath everything: the fear of losing. It's not just the pain of being hit, it's the judgment, the embarrassment, the career setback, the disappointment. And that fear drives a lot of anxiety in sports and in life. The truth, though, is simple: everybody loses. Everybody, even great fighters, have losses on their record. See, that's what separates the champions. It isn't about avoiding losses. It's responding to them. See, Carol at Stanford calls this the growth mindset. Her research shows that people who see failure as a lesson bounce back stronger. See, those who see it as proof they're not good enough, see, the times I've fought scared out of my mind, losing were the times I froze, the times I accepted them, losing as a possibility and focused on growing. I performed freely. Anxiety dropped because I wasn't protecting an image. I was chasing growth. This is why mental readiness isn't about being fearless. Fearless is a myth. Everyone feels fear. Mental readiness is about walking into fear, carrying it with you, and still doing the job. It's about accepting that anxiety is part of the process, reframing it as it being fuel, or using it as fuel itself, and preparing yourself to trust the moment that comes and to trust yourself. That's what lets you perform in the cage, in school, and in business, also life. See, I want to tie this back to preparation because that's the anchor. You can reframe all you want, but if you didn't do the work, the nerves will expose you. That's why I say confidence doesn't come from hype, it comes from proof. Proof you ran the miles, did the rounds, stayed disciplined. When you've prepared the nerves, you don't scare like it doesn't scare you because you tell yourself, I've done everything I could. I'm ready. Without that preparation, fear eats you alive. With it, fear sharpens you. So let's put it all together. Anxiety is your body's alarm system. Fear is your body's fuel. The mistake is trying to eliminate them. The science is clear. Suppression backfires. Acceptance works. Reframing works. Preparation works. From Cannon's work in the 1930s to Wagner's studies in the 1990s to Brooks' research in 2014, the evidence all points in the same direction. You don't beat fear by silencing it. You beat fear by accepting it, preparing for it, and letting it push you forward. See, that's not just fight psychology, that's life psychology. Because whether you're walking into a cage, starting a new job, or making a tough decision, the formula is the same. Accept the nerves, reframe them, trust your preparation, and then step into the moment knowing that fear isn't proof you're weak. It's proof you're alive. And I'm going to end this lecture here. If you guys have not yet, hit the subscribe button down below. And on top of that, check out my Instagram at jn_blacklightning. And I'll see you guys on the next video.